broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to tonight's Elite Earners webinar with Chris and Gil Perez. And we're so excited to have them on the line tonight. They are Diamond Consultants and have reached a huge milestone, recently crossing over $100,000 in commissions. In fact, they just told me that they pretty soon will probably have closer to 140,000. So they're really getting up there, and we're truly happy for them and their success. Gil is a research and development management specialist at Procter & Gamble and a former college athletics coordinator at, and I have no idea how to even say this, is it Ateneo de Manila University?
Mm-hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong, sorry. They found MOBE while searching for something to enable them to stay at home with their 3 children, 2 of which have special needs. Together, their successful marketing business has allowed them to be the home entrepreneurs they always dreamed of and has empowered them to be the best therapists their children need. Their focus is the power of positive thinking and trusting in the processes already set up. Rather than trying to reinvent the wheel, they will give us an overview of strategies they are implementing right now and that has catapulted their success into the 6 figures in recent months. So welcome to the webinar, Chris and Gil.
All right.
Hi, thanks, Karen.
Thanks, Karen. And thanks for everyone who has taken some time from their busy schedule to join this Elite Earners webinar. And we're actually very humbled and honored at the same time to be invited to share our journey in MOBE and what we've done to grow our business to 6 figures during the past 12 months. All right.
And you guys are all set to go, so we'll turn the time over to you. Thank you so much, and we're excited to hear what you have to say.
All right. Okay. Trying to shift. All right. So this is what we will be covering for today's Elite Earners webinar. So we'd like to share with you our story. Obviously, for any newbie entrepreneurs in MOBE, we're not actually, we didn't get, to grow our business as we originally planned it. So we had birth pain. So we will be sharing that as well with you. And then one thing that really helped us to kickstart our business is the mindset, right? So we'll be sharing with you 3 key mindsets that we use to become successful. And then we'll share more details, more from a macro level on our business blueprint. Because this is, I think for any entrepreneur, you need to have like a bird's eye view of what you really want to achieve and how you will be implementing that, right? So we'll be sharing a macro overview of our business blueprint. We'll also share with you a few details on our coaching program, which we have also started recently and really helping us to not only grow our business, but also help our business partners grow their business. And then Chris will be going into more details on what we call the 8X business strategy. We call it 8X because literally it multiplied our business results 8 times in 2017 compared to 2016, right? And then we'll share with you as well what we've learned in MOBE and how we've applied it to our passion, which is helping special needs children. And then we'll end with some key lessons and also have extra time for question and answer. All right, so we'll start first with our story. Right, so as Karen introduced, I'm a manager in a fast-moving consumer goods company. I've been working in the corporate setting for the past 17 years. So the company that I joined is actually a very good company. It really takes good care of my family since we moved from our home country in Manila, Philippines, and then we lived in Japan for 8 years, and now we're living in Singapore 5 years so far. Right, so my company has really been taking good care of me and my family. But perhaps for any of you who have had experience working in the corporate, working in the corporate is really very high stress. I travel frequently. I have evening calls, and it really takes a toll in terms of the time that I have to spend with my family. And so I was really looking for a business opportunity that my wife Chris and I can start, so that eventually, I mean, one of our goals is really to retire early so that we could spend more time with our kids and also set up a business that will serve like a business franchise for our kids, especially our special needs students. And Chris will be covering that pretty soon. So you want to
Okay,
add,
so
Chris?
yeah. Well, are you done with your story?
Yeah. So for me, so I'm still employed. I still have my 9 to 5 job, which I primarily use to fund and our online business. But I'm constantly shifting, from an employee mindset to a entrepreneur mindset. And I think during the past 1 year was really the toughest because I had to constantly shift, and I'm really enjoying the challenge of, having to really grow my own business versus being just an employee.
Yeah, and I'd have to say you've done a great job doing that that shift. Okay, so my story. So like Hill, I was working in a multinational corporation. I was an environmental officer, and I too really enjoyed my job. However, in my first pregnancy, well, actually, that was the fourth pregnancy. We had a lot of miscarriages. My twins were born premature, and very early on, we knew about the brain injury that my son incurred. So that's me and him in the middle photo. And it was easy for me to give up my career so that I could be the primary therapist of my twins. And through the years, we realized that what my son had was actually worse than we thought. It wasn't only cerebral palsy, which is the inability to walk, but it was also autism, which was the inability to talk to other people, to have social skills. So my son at that time, he had no language. He could not look at people in the eye. He didn't know my name. He wasn't responding to his name, and he was 4 years old. So I knew that I had to do more, and I knew my career would have to be pushed out further. The priority at that time was to empower ourselves to add to the therapies that we were bringing our children to. And eventually I found a really great home program that empowered me and my husband to run and play with our kids. And since then, my twins have been progressing really well. As you can see, he's got great eye contact in this photo, and he now speaks, and he now does so many things that I couldn't have imagined. So the giving up my career was really worth it. My twins are now 11 years old, and there's no denying if you have a family with special needs, it becomes financially draining. So we did have to start looking at options, I and I was thinking that even if I went back into the corporate job, even if I had a high paying job, it really wouldn't be worth my time if I just had to hand over my kids to another therapist, because they progress really well when mom and dad plays with them. So we were blessed because we clicked into an ad and we attended an I Am Freedom workshop, which sounded really great. We went to the HBS, and when I discovered the business model of MOBE, it was really worth looking into. So this business has really blessed us to move um, so much further than just having a career, but having the potentially unlimited income to address our finances today, and more importantly, for our kids in the future. You want to talk about the
Right.
third
Yeah.
slide?
Just a short story on the last picture. So we also have a third child. He's neurotypical. His name is Ian. And even before we had children, Chris and I were actually very active in sports. We were doing track and field in the university. Chris was actually doing swimming as well. And she actually introduced me in the sports of triathlon. So we've been doing a lot of multi-sports, aquathlon, duathlon, and triathlon. And when we had kids, we try to insert that as well because we really enjoy the challenge of beating our personal bests. And so as much as we can, we still do that even today. Just last 2 months back, I think we did an aquathlon, and we like the challenge. And we in fact we also apply what we've been doing as an athlete into our online business. Like the importance of training and ensuring that we're being consistent in growing our business. Okay.
Okay, so our biggest why. So as I mentioned, very early on, we knew of our twins' special needs. So this was day one when my twins were born. And as you can see, my son, he is the one on the left side. And he's a little bit blue, and he needed a respirator as soon as he got out of my tummy. So he had the brain injury that affected his ability to walk, and later on he was diagnosed with autism. His sister Amor is doing much better, but still has delays. So we really want to spend a lot of time helping our kids progress. So that takes up a lot of our time. And yet we still know that while we're having financial challenges today, what more if my twins in the future can't even step into the rat race? So so we had to find options now, and it was really fantastic because when we found the MOBE business model, it was perfect for us.
So this is actually a picture that we took when we had our branding video at the Kuala Lumpur MOBE studio. So you can see Matt Lloyd there. So we were very lucky that, he took time from his busy schedule to spend, I think almost an hour with us, taking videos and also pictures, right? And so I think this picture we treasure a lot because we know that, with Matt really supporting at the helm of MOBE, we know that it's really going to grow for the years to come. And we are using MOBE as well as a vehicle for us to establish a business franchise that we will eventually pass on to our kids.
Matt was even sweet, by the way. He gave like these toys to our kids, and my daughter decided to call the doll that he gave her Matty.
All right.
Maybe you can continue.
Okay. So next would be the birth pains. Um, so not all were pretty successful at the beginning, I would say. So in fact, during the first several months when we joined MOBE, we were, I think for any new affiliate, overwhelmed with so much information, right? And being employees, we were looking for someone to direct us. But at the same time, we knew that for us to be successful, we need to generate sales as soon as possible. And so we did a lot of trial and error, and we experienced a lot of failed ads. Our Facebook campaigns did not really convert that well. Even some of the campaigns were becoming too expensive, and we generated very low sales, right? However, we kept on going on, and we attended, the mobile events like Supercharge, and then we also attended the Diamond Mastermind in Jamaica, where we met other affiliates and we learned a lot from them. We even met one Diamond affiliate that really helped us in focusing on the money making activities. So since then, um, we've really focused on the money making activities because as very busy parents, we have limited time, right? And the only way for us to grow our business is if we would be very choiceful on the things that we do and we focus on the money making activities.
Okay, so let's talk about what has helped us grow. Let me first share what this photo is about. So this was our first supercharge, and at that point we had a couple of months earlier we had just positioned at platinum at our HBS, and we've started studying and tried to get our Facebook ads up. And obviously at this time, which was very short, a short period in between our home business summit and the supercharge, we haven't made any money yet. Okay. However, there was this little opportunity of getting on the stage because somebody who made money in MOBE was absent for the day, and they looked for a couple as a substitute, somebody to hold their check. And I just grabbed that opportunity. I grabbed my husband and we ran to the stage to hold the check for them. And the reason why I did this is because I knew that I wanted to be on that stage next year, and then I wanted to feel it now. And because as the Mo business model unfolded, I was very sure that it would work really well for us. I knew that Matt Lloyd could build this company and could really support this company. So we saw the potential at MOBE. And in fact, at the Supercharge, we positioned from platinum to diamond immediately. And we haven't had any sales yet. We've started, we've tried, but I knew that one way or the other, we would make this business work for us. Also, at events, we talk to a lot of people. We see amazing stories of people of how resourceful they are. I mean, for example, there's Aikun Chan. She's over there in upfront, and she has no computer background whatsoever, but she runs her online business offline, talking to people. We've met other people in other events like Marchin and Mary Markzak, for example, who at the point when we met them, their commissions were at 85,000 and their ad spending was only about $5,000. So we picked people who we wanted help from, and we really networked with these people so that they could help us in our business. So that's one thing we did very early on, recognize that this business was going to work for us and really work towards it.
All right. So a second mindset of success is really acting, right? So implementing. So in the picture is me and Matt. So this is one of the challenges that he offered the affiliates during the Diamond Mastermind in Jamaica last year, and he simply asked, write an email and invite your leads to get the Limitless book, right? So I did that immediately, came up with a personal story, and then luckily I actually won the grand prize of a gold coin, right? It was something simple, but I think that really gave me and Chris the confidence that the important thing in growing your business is really taking action, right? So taking action, focusing on the money making activities, not all of your um, not all of the things that you actually do will lead to a commission. Some may be not as important as the others, but in your hierarchy of things that you do, always rank number one those that will actually generate you sales. So focus on the money making activities. Um, I'm also lucky that I have Chris with me running this business, and hopefully she also feels the same way. Because we actually leverage each other's strengths, right? So Chris is very good in math. She likes numbers. She likes monitoring performance, right? So she's actually does the Facebook marketing and really monitoring how our Facebook campaigns are performing.
And Hill is really good at talking to people and convincing them to attend events and to upgrade. And he's also a good copywriter. So whatever my weakness is actually his strength. So we actually make a perfect combination running this business.
Right. And then last is really the consistency and persistence. Um, when we look back at our results during the past year, it's really the months where we were very consistent and persistent that we generated, significant results. What I specifically mean by this is like during the months when we were doing anywhere between 2 to 4 IMF workshop promotions and really focused on monitoring how they are performing. That's actually the month where we generated the most commissions. So that's really the importance of being consistent and persistent, because what you sow at the beginning of the month, you will reap at the end of the month.
Okay, so let me talk about this photo first. So as we mentioned, Hill and I, we from the start we liked sports. We liked different types of sports, and to think we had twins with special needs. And however, that didn't stop us from keep from joining sports. In fact, with whatever we have, we decided let's keep on doing it. So despite their handicap, we got our kids, and this has become like an annual activity that we do. We join this kids race every year, and our kids truly enjoy being part of it. So our lesson there is that life will throw things at you, and you might have a sense of failures, but what's important is making it work for you.
Right. And then as an analogy to your online business, we always look at what has gone very well that actually generated us significant positive results, right? So we always look at our campaigns during the previous month and learn from that, right? And if it works, then we keep on repeating, and it's an iterative process of always optimizing, always improving what has worked well for us. We also learn from our failures, right? Like, a Facebook copy didn't work well, it wasn't congruent to a picture or the landing page or the way we followed up with our leads. We learn from those and then we improve on those so that we could, become better and improve our results in the subsequent months. And we always never give up. This is, I think, one of the toughest challenges that we had because as employees, right? So we would be expecting certainty, like getting a paycheck at the end of the month. For being an entrepreneur, it's not always predictable. There are strategies to increase your probability of getting results, every month. But it was challenging for us at the beginning because we were spending money but not getting our return on investment. But after we've overcome that mindset that we just need to keep on promoting, keep on improving our campaigns, that's when we actually generated results, right? So going back again to the first mindset, seeing before it actually happens, because it's actually going to happen. All right, next. We'll share with you our business blueprint. So we're very transparent. We want to share this with you because I think this is really going to grow your business exponentially. Um, Going back to our context, right? So we're very busy parents. We have limited time to devote on our business. And so we've made the choice um, that we will be focusing on the highest, fastest converting funnel in MOBE. And I think it's probably not a secret to many top performing affiliates that focusing on just promoting the IMF workshop live events is the fastest and fastest way to grow your business. So if you look at the extreme left side of this diagram, so we get leads primarily through Facebook marketing, and we have automation tools which also help us save time and effort. So we use ClickFunnels, we use Aweber, and we also use an SMS service called ClickSend. And we get leads to attend the IMF Freedom Workshop, and even if they don't attend, we lead them to the 21-step online training, right? And then again, even if they attend, some of them may not actually purchase a Home Business Summit ticket, and so we lead them to the Home Business Summit webinar event page, hoping that they would actually get convinced because some people who attend the IMF workshops just need more information to be convinced, and then they purchase the ticket once they sign up for the webinar. For those that do purchase a ticket, so they attend the Home Business Summit, and that's where they will be offered to position themselves at any of the master classes or the masterminds, right? Um, and we continue that engagement after they position themselves to providing them content, training, coaching, and then encouraging them to attend the other, masterminds and also the supercharge live events. Um, for those that you know, don't take action whatsoever, we still add them in our global list. So we send them regular emails on how our business are performing. So we build a relationship with them, and sooner or later they get convinced, right? And they become part of our um, business team. Another strategy that we have recently started as well is starting our fast track coaching program. I think if you are really a serious MOBE affiliate and you really want to grow your business, you will sooner or later realize that the best way to grow your business is also helping your business partners, right? So we put together a coaching program primarily based on our experience because although there's already a lot of training in MOBE and there are excellent ones, right? We still want to help our business partners fast track their learning curve, right? And so we've captured it in a coaching program, and it's not, and it covers, step by step tutorials, and at the same time, we mastermind with them every 2 weeks so that we get to handhold them and guide them. And doing the mini masterminds with them actually not only uh, gives us opportunity to share what we have learned, but we also learn from them, right? Because I don't think we know 100%, how to do online business. We continue to learn even from our business partners.
And I just wanted to add, when we started this Mo business, we tried to learn as fast as we can, learning from all the materials and all the additional resources that you can Google to, for the automation tools and everything. But really, we felt that um, time was very precious to us. And if I was single, for example, then I would, digest all those training materials on my own and figure out things on myself, right? But we had 3 kids and we really wanted to learn as fast and run the business as fast as we can. So we actually, at live events, it was a good opportunity to find people who have gone through all the hardships and all the birth pains. So we approached people, we networked with people, we asked people for help, and that has truly helped us to shortcut our learning. And so we realized that for people who we invite into this business, they will go through the same process that we did, getting lost, trying to understand what tools should we use, how do we do this. So we created this program so that they could shortcut all the learnings and we could just give everything like on a silver platter to them, and they could go immediately to money making activities. And of course, there's so much more benefits to teaching the people who we invite into this business. I for one like to truly say that this business is going to work for you the same way that it has worked for us. So we really want them to experience their business grow the soonest, the best. And also as a MOBE community, as MOBE, in the past year alone, MOBE is becoming bigger and better, faster, which is truly amazing. And as we grow as a MOBE community, it would be great if we help each other out so that it can grow bigger and faster. In fact, the way MOBE has been growing is so large that I wouldn't worry about competition anymore because live events are on every week, triple events, double, triple events simultaneously. So there's so much to go around, and it's great to be able to say this is a great business. This will work for you. You'll earn money. Let's do it. Let's fast track your business. Okay.
Okay. Um, Before we move on to the next slide, we just want to remind the webinar attendees that if you have a question, just type it on the chat window, and we'll go through the questions towards the end because I think we do have ample time for us to cover questions and answers. All right. So next, so you've heard our business blueprint. So that's the macro, right? What we're gonna cover next would be more detailed, and this is what we call the 8x business strategy because it has literally multiplied our business results 8 times in 2017 compared to 2016. And Chris will be covering this in more detail, but it's based on the principle of the Pareto principle, which is 20% of your efforts will generate 80% of the results. If you focus on the 20% activities that are the money making activities, then you will generate 80% of the results. Um, the traffic strategy that we have chosen is Facebook, right? And Chris will be illustrating how this Pareto principle applies to Facebook marketing.
Okay. So so like Hill said, the Pareto principle, 20% of your operations will result to 80% of your profits. So this is something really exciting for me and something that I'm learning as I transition from being employee to an entrepreneur. And we see this all the time throughout the whole business. And I see this like specifically when I'm placing Facebook ads. So if you understand this principle and understand how to make it work for you, then advertising will really work for you. And if you don't understand this principle, then you might feel that you're losing in your ads. So what I'm going to show you is conceptually how to optimize your ads by finding that so-called 20% that will give you profits. Okay, so all right, so and the way to do it is to split test, split test, split test. Find that ad that will work for you. So I'm going to demonstrate different parameters that you can split test. Okay, so for example, you can take images. You can in your ad copy, you can choose an image of here in this example, it's an image of an actual seminar, and the second image is the venue where the seminar will be held. So you can, and they're represented by a circle or a pentagon. So you can use those for your ads and check which image works. Okay. And then you can also in your ads use color themes. So in the example, I've used a yellow color theme or a blue color theme. And so if you place ads, that would result to 4 different options. So 2 images, 2 color themes, all 4 different options. Okay, then you could choose the message in your ad copy. So you can invite them and say, this is a great education opportunity, right? Or you can say that this is going to lead you to a great business opportunity. So you can split test your ad copy, and that will result to 8 variations. Oops, sorry, 8 variations. Okay, so another thing that I would split test, and I think this would be the top priority, is to target who you want to show your ads to. So let's say, for example, we want to target people who like Tony Robbins, and we also want to target people who like Robert Kiyosaki. So when we place those ads, we now have 16 variations. Okay, so we've got 16 ad sets running, and say for example you're paying $10 for each of these, so you have $160, for example, right? But as you run your ads, you will start noticing something like, say, you're seeing that people who like Tony Robbins are responding better to your ads, and people like Robert Kiyosaki are not responding to your ads. So what you might want to do is you might leave the ads of Tony Robbins running, and you'd want to turn off all of the ads that where Robert Kiyosaki is your target audience. So by doing that, you're already slashing down your ad spend from $160 per day to $80 per day. And your results are still the same because the people that like Tony Robbins are still clicking into your ads and are still converting or leaving their emails with you and showing interest to attend the IMF. So you save 50% in this setup by turning off all of the ads. So just to give you another example, say you've noticed in the 2 images that you have used for split testing, you see one image perform better than the other. So what you do simply is you keep that ad running and you turn off the ad that was using the other image. So again, in this illustration, you will save 50% of your marketing costs. All right. So our advice really is to split test, split test, split test. And this is a very dynamic procedure. So while you might find a great photo phone now and you can use it for the next couple of ads, you will still want to continue looking for photos and continue developing photos that resonate with your audience. And we like to use the MOBE Flickr account. There's so many great photos that you can pick up from there. Okay, so here's another example of what you do. Say, for example, in your Facebook ad, you want to target several audiences. You want to target people interested in internet marketing, people interested in home business, people interested in sales, for example, and just pick 10 different audiences. And when you run your ads, you might see that 8 of them actually fail. And this is where some people might think, oh no, I placed an ad and it failed. Nobody's converting, or if I do have a conversion, it's very, very expensive, right? But it's really simple. Actively look for that 20%. So in this case, you have 2 target audiences, and turn off everything else. So in the previous slide, if I had 10 ads running at $10 per ad, so I'd be spending $100 per day. If I turn everything off that was not converting, then now I'd only be spending $20 per day. And with that $20 per day, I'm getting just as much leads.
Hold on, Chris. Would you also advise reallocating your freed up budget to those two performing target
Oh yeah,
audience, right?
yeah. That's a good point. Yeah. So once you see that there's an audience that's working in, or a split test, whether it's your target audience or your city or your image, then you can now reallocate your budget to those. So I would put in more money in target audience 4 and target audience 6, and see if they continue to convert at that rate. Okay, so that's for the target audience. We do this with all different aspects of our ads. So, for example, we can pick different ads. So, again, it's an ad of a seminar. The first image is from the MOBE Flickr account. The second image is from it's a Google image, and the third image is an image of the hotel. So you can be creative with finding ads where people can, in one image, understand that they're being invited to a I Am Freedom workshop. And by using your ads, find the ad that works and then turn off the ads that don't work. Okay. Hill and I have been using several ads, and we've noticed that obviously they will respond differently to different cities. And we've collected a handful of ads, the photos that we really like to use because a lot of people respond well to those photos. So it's a matter of just placing ads and keep on finding which photos perform better than the others. Okay, and now we've also realized that sometimes we'll advertise in a certain city, and it would be very expensive, and we'd eventually just have to turn off that ad. So now what we're doing is, for the week that we're advertising, we will actually set up two or three campaigns for 2 to 3 cities. And if one city does not convert well, then we simply have to turn it off. So at least we're still advertising for that week, and which means in the following month or so, we still have that income allocated for that week. Okay, so the biggest thing really is to keep on advertising, to keep on split testing, and to keep on finding which image, which ad copy, which audience works for you, and to keep on improving that. So that has literally helped us to make an income from our first 5 figures in the first 90 days of advertising, and within the next year to increase to 6 figures. And of course, since we now know how to kind of push the gears, we can now scale up even faster than the last 12 months. So we're really excited about the year to come. Oh, okay. So something really amazing about this business is how it has not only helped us financially, but has helped us with so many other aspects in our life. So as you know, as a parent of twins with special needs, my biggest blessing is that my son, who was once severely autistic, now speaks to me, looks at me, recognizes his name, knows that I'm his mom, and this gift is something that unfortunately not a lot of parents with special needs know. We found this through a program called the Sunrise Program, which is unfortunately tucked away in this tiny campus in the US, in America. And not a lot of people know this, so we like to share our journey, and we like to tell them, attend this training because this will change your life. And we've encountered other parents in Singapore who are just as passionate as we are to share this training. And in order to let people understand that there is this program for their kids, we had to get parents into events that we sponsored either here in Singapore or in the Philippines, where the training is going this year. And and it was because of my Facebook advertising that we get parents to events. And in Manila, we got 1,000 participants for 4 different events to listen to Ron Kaufman. This gentleman is now the global director for the Sunrise Program. He was once severely autistic, and it was a program that his parents developed that has helped thousands of parents like myself to be the best play therapists for their kids. So MOBE has not only empowered us to be financially secure today, but it has helped us in our passions to help other parents to be empowered for their children with special needs. And it's just an amazing thing to be able to do this for other parents, thanks to everything we've learned from MOBE.
All right, so we're at the stage that we're wrapping up, right? So these are the key lessons that we have learned during the past couple of months. So one is keeping your eye on your big why, right? So being an entrepreneur, it's not going to be a smooth um, path forward. There's always going to be humps and bumps. But as long as you remain true with your big why, then you'll find the energy and the passion to keep on moving forward. So obviously, as Chris has shared in the past few slides, right? So our biggest why are our children, and we want to build a business franchise that we will eventually pass on to them. So whenever we encounter challenges, our campaigns are not performing well, we always look back to that. And it actually also helps a lot if you have a image of your why. So if you recall the one of the first pictures that Chris shared, right? So the day one when our twins with special needs were born, that's always the image that comes to my mind personally when when there's challenges, I want to touch base with why did we start this business in the first place, right? Second is walk with persistence and consistency. As long as you're persistent and consistent, there you will always reap the benefits, right? As I shared earlier, we've learned that when you sow the seeds early in the month, you will definitely reap your harvest towards the end of the month. Not all of your campaigns will be performing well, but 20% of them will actually generate 80% of the profits. So as long as you're persistent and consistent, you will get that 20, you will be able to identify the 20% that will grow your business. Last but not the least is run with your tailwind. And what do we mean by the tailwind, right? Tailwind is like your magic formula, your silver bullet, right? So for us, it's the 8X strategy that we have discovered, split tested, and kept on really optimizing. So it's an iterative process of really, improving and finding out whether it still works in a specific location and adjusting here and there. So when you've found your magic formula, your silver bullet, run with it. Keep on repeating, um, applying that magic formula in every um, campaign that you would be investing your time and money on.
Okay.
All right. So that's the last slide from our presentation. And I think we have time now for question and answer. So for those,
Maybe Karen can help us with the questions that have been asked so far.
yeah,
Yep, let me just pull out the box here and see. It looks like some questions are already starting to come in. If you have any questions, just type it in your question box and I will go ahead and read it out to them. Let's see. Back up here. Okay, my name is Megan. I'm a very new Titanium affiliate. I'm currently on step 10 on the 21 steps and haven't placed an ad yet. What do you recommend placing the first ad? Or when do you recommend placing the first ad?
Do you want to go?
so Megan is a standard affiliate, right?
Titanium.
Titanium affiliate.
Titanium, but she's only on step 10 of the 21 steps.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'll be honest with you, Megan. I didn't finish the 21 steps. Haha. I actually did the homework for the HBS, and I realized that the Home Business Summit is a more detailed version of the 21 steps, plus minus, right? And what was important for me at the Home Business Summit was to get all the information from the coach, because even after the overwhelming 3 days, there was still a lot of homework to do, like setting up the automated tools. And so I got to that, figured out how to get my autoresponder working, get my, at that time we were using another landing page. We're using ClickFunnels now. And we So we really worked on that. And I was placing ads, even if I felt like I was placing ads in the blind. And looking back, I think that was really worth the time and effort doing, because the only way to really grow your business is to actually do it, even if you're doing it wrong. Because I believe that those mistakes are what's going to help you, become better in the future. It'll be much easier to avoid mistakes if you do make mistakes. So I would encourage you to learn fast. And as soon as you feel that you can place an ad, so you've got the whole picture of what needs to be done to place an ad, go do it. You don't have to finish the 21 steps.
You don't have to finish 21 steps, but just keep in mind that your coaches are going to suggest that you do. It's for anyone else anyone that might be listening in. And the reason why is because you have to remember that your customers are tagged to you at the level that you are at when you acquire them. So that means that if you decide, right now as a Titanium member, to go out and advertise and you get a customer, you can only ever, for this customer, make up to the Titanium commission. So if you increase your level up to Diamond later on, you can never make the Diamond sell for this customer because they're tagged to you at Titanium. That's where you're at. So it is really important that you do finish the 21 steps and make sure that you are fully positioned where you want to be before you start placing ads. So again, I would just take that back to your coach, discuss it with them, and let them see, kind of give you advice on what you should do in your particular situation, because it will differ, depending on where you're at.
Oh, I see, Karen. So I see the difference. So she might have come in through the 21 steps rather than I was assuming that she was coming in through the IMF and the HBS. So I saw the 21 steps through my HBS. So if you come in at the 21 steps, it's a totally different procedure. Agree with you, Karen. Yes.
Yeah,
so take the 21 steps to understand the whole system. That's correct.
Right. Yeah, right. Because if you don't attend the Home Business Summit, you won't get that training. And
right.
So, yeah, you're absolutely right, Chris.
I got it in 3 days, and the 21 steps is a totally different story. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. Okay, so this one is Corinne. I'm a silver consultant. How hard was it for you to move to Diamond without making any single sale yet? I'm a Filipino too, and thinking about it, that is a lot of money in our home country, not to mention the money for ads too. Or maybe even if you have enough money, what made you decide to go Diamond without making a sale? Was it easy, and where did you get the funding?
Okay, so that's a lot of questions. Okay, between my husband and I, it was really me who was the one that was excited about the moving up. I did the homework from the Home Business Summit, and I saw, knowing Matt's story, knowing that he's a visionary, and knowing that he's practically married to MOBE, I like with so much certainty, I knew MOBE was gonna be an existing company for a long time. And this was before he purchased his resort in Costa Rica, and of course before this new purchase in Fiji. So you can already see that he is doing whatever it takes to continue to grow this business, right? And to see that he was growing in his business in a really smart way with all the support that was needed. So I already knew that MOBE already has all the existing parameters you need to run a business, and all I had to do was really get in people into the funnel, and everything else was well taken care of. So I knew that from the beginning. And I also know that, in our life journey with special needs kids, right, you can like put half your foot through the door and not really experience what's on the other side of the door, right? So when you make decisions, you spend some time putting your foot, your toes in the water, and then decide later on to jump in. Because just keeping your toes on the surface will neither get you to feel the river or to stay safe where you are, right? So when we decided to go all in. In the beginning, we were just at Platinum. We were working, and we knew that it wasn't like up to us. The business was there; it was running. Even if we're seeing failures from our end, it's because we were still learning. So we know that there was a way to get there. We just had to figure out how to get there. So we positioned from Platinum to Diamond on our next event. And again, knowing that it was really, if we're lost right now, it's a matter of finding people to help us get there. So I was blessed that my husband agreed with my decision to go Diamond soon.
Right.
Yeah.
And actually the funding actually came from our savings, right? So we had the money in the bank. So we had the option of just keeping it in the bank and getting less than 1% interest
Mm.
per year, or invest it in a business and which has the potential to really grow exponentially. For me, it was really tough because it was, money that I have,
For many years.
saved aside and was really meant for my family. But I also wanted to um, start a business that I can really own and will, hopefully overtake what the paycheck that I get, from my 9 to 5 job, right? Um, so it was tough, right? One of the advices that we got as well that help us also be convinced to position ourselves at the highest level is um, similar to what Chris has shared, right? So are you gonna put your foot just halfway through the door, or go straight inside the door and see what's behind the door? So it was very comfortable for us to position ourselves at silver as well. So no problem with that. But it was too comfortable that we will likely not take action,
Mm.
right? So the advice that we got is position yourself at the level that, of course, you can afford and which will make you uncomfortable. Because once you're uncomfortable, you're vested in, right? And you're taking a big leap of faith, for example, or a big risk, and you want to ensure that you recuperate your investment, and that's what we did, right? So it was a large amount of money, but we knew that as long as we are consistent and persistent, we will be able to recover that.
Yeah.
So it was really just a
So
matter of time.
I like to call that money like the college fund of our kids. And when we paid for our diamond, I was like, there goes our college fund. And so we really had to get it back. So, of course, especially because we've got twins with special needs and we need to secure their future. And so it has certainly been such a promising journey so far. And we know the coming year will be even more exciting as we grow this business and we get them out of the rat race.
Okay, great. And Jean says, have you attended all the mastermind events? And if so, what summits did you attend as well?
So when we positioned to Diamond, the closest event was the Diamond event. So we immediately went to the Diamond event. This year has been quite tough for us with some medical conditions that our kids have been experiencing. So we're holding off some of the events. We could actually go to the
Titanium.
Yeah, we've missed Titanium Platinum and the Leaders Retreat. Or I mean, we're ready to go to the Leaders Retreat, but we're holding off a little longer just until our kids are medically better. Yeah, we know we're missing out a lot on those events, but such is life. But we do encourage people to attend because there's so many good things to learn from those events.
Okay, Mary is wondering, where is the Flickr account for the MOBE images? So it's flickr.com / oh boy, let me see if I can find it if you don't have it. Okay, it's Flickr, that's FLICKR.com /photos /MOBE Live, MOBELIVE, MOBE Live. So flickr.com /photos /MOBE Live. Hopefully that helps.
Perfect. Yes.
Okay, next question. My name is Erwin and I'm Silver Gold Consultant. I'm Filipino American here in Arizona. Can I connect with you in Facebook? I'm on step 16 and want to learn how you promote in Facebook.
Okay, so why don't we share our Facebook profile with them? So maybe Hill or my profile. So if you look for us on Facebook, my husband's name is, he's showing it right now. His Hill Michael Perez. Cruz Perez, is your middle name there?
Yeah. So just send us a friend request. Yeah. So this is my Facebook profile.
Okay, so that's Hill Michael Perez. That's my husband.
And
so it's us and our kids there.
and this is Chris.
And that's my profile. So we're all red in mine.
Yeah, so feel free to send us a friend request and so that we can get connected.
Okay, I'm just reading through the questions. Some of them you've already answered already. So let's see. Okay, they're all kind of the same questions. Everyone's just wanting to know about how you positioned yourself at Diamond. And okay, so here's a question about the program that you offer. Is obviously that's probably just for your own downline that you help,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
They're wondering if you have that as a product that they can buy like on the MOBE Marketplace. Have you put it on the MOBE Marketplace yet?
No, it's not. But no, it's not. But we encourage like all the affiliates, once you start learning, start teaching, because teaching is really the fastest way to learn. So even when we only had a few people buying the business, even for the first person that joined us, we did our best to train them, and we continue to help them, because any help that you can offer to them will be a big help. So we would encourage everyone to, as soon as they can, start teaching. Learning comes a lot faster that way too.
Okay, Erwin is wanting to know how much are you spending on your Facebook ads? So give them a little bit of an idea of your budget.
Okay, so maybe the bigger picture. So when we started Facebook advertising, we actually followed the advice of Michelle Pescosalito, which was actually $5 per ad set. So we did that, right? So in the beginning, right now I ask people to start with like $10, because what you're doing is you're still like taking a feel of which ads are performing better than the others. But once you've got a good idea of like which photos perform, which ad copies perform, then you can start increasing your budget to say 20, even 50, even 100. I know some affiliates can go up to, like 100 or 200 per ad campaign, right? In a month, now because we've got we're better at understanding which ads work better. We now spend from between $2,000 to $4,000 a month, but that comes back to us on an average. For every dollar that we spend, we get $3 back. And sometimes we get more, sometimes we get less, but the net would probably for every dollar we spend, we get $2, $2 to $3 back. Yeah. So we get,
and
go ahead.
the 2 to 4,000, because it might sound, a lot of money. It's actually promoting between 2 to 4, sometimes 5 even,
In a month.
IMF workshop events, right? So it boils down to maybe on average 1,000 per
Per
workshop.
city, yes. 1,000 per city.
Claudia is wanting to know how and what should I promote in MOBE in order to generate enough income to position myself from titanium to diamond. What's the best product to promote?
Okay. So we'll be very biased, right? Because what has worked well for us is actually promoting the MOBE live events. So the 2 hour internet marketing freedom workshop. So that's all we focus on. And if you talk to other top earners in MOBE and attend the MOBE live events, you will hear the same thing. So I don't think it's a secret anymore. And so if you really want to grow your business fastest, focus just on the MOBE live events. Now, it doesn't mean that the other products are inferior or less performing. It's just that if you focus on the MOBE live events, promoting the MOBE live events, you will grow your business fastest. Um, if you go back, let me go back probably to the presentation, this slide, right? So the business blueprint. So when you promote the MOBE live events, not all of them will show up, right? So it's actually, so what we found is a complementary strategy is the 21 steps. So there are a lot of 21 step training nowadays, depending on, the way it's positioned. The latest one is a turnkey business system. So you can actually offer that to those people who are not going through this funnel, right? So if we would narrow down to the top three products, one is the MOBE live event, Second is the 21 steps. And the third one would be the Limitless book or any of the ebooks or the Wi-Fi Millionaire ebook. Because the Wi-Fi Millionaire ebook would also, or the Limitless book would also lead to the 21 steps.
Okay, and how much follow-up do you do? I have my lead and 21 buyer email list, but my coach wants me to call my buyers who are not doing too well, moving on through the steps. But isn't that the coach's job? I don't want to harass people into doing the 21 steps. So what do you do with your follow-up?
We would encourage to call your, your 21 steps buyer. I purchased We Sell Good Traffic. We purchased We Sell Good Traffic like, was that a year ago? And we called them up. Some of them positioned, some of them did not. And I remember having long conversations with some of them. And just recently, the other night, he actually got back to me and he said, "You know what? It's been a year. My life has changed. I now have a job and I now want to position." So if I did not reach out to this guy last year, he wouldn't come back after, he's doing okay now and he has a job now and he wants to start a business now. Then this conversation wouldn't have existed at all. And another thing is, I remember when we had somebody buy the We Sell Good Traffic, and Hill was the one that got in touch with him, and we found out that for some reason he couldn't get in touch with his coach because of time zone reasons. And so Hill adjusted to get a new coach and all of that. And this guy positioned to titanium, and he almost ignored his $49 21-step product if it wasn't for Hill calling him up just to check if he was in touch with his coach. And sure enough, he wasn't. And that led to a titanium sale.
Right. And it's not really, doing the coach's job. All we need to do is really making the connection smoother, right? So making sure that your lead that has purchased the 21 steps is contacting his or her 21-step coach. Sometimes they don't even remember their login details, right? So we simply file a ticket with MOBE support and get them to resend our lead's username and password. So it could be as simple as that. And it has really helped us a lot in getting those leads on board.
Yeah. So it helps a lot. And also, in the beginning when we were placing ads, we were coming from the employee mindset of like, we worked really hard for this money and we wanted to produce for us, right? So every penny that we spent was really worth a little extra time to just follow up and just make sure people would show up at events and just make sure and just ask if they were interested in the Home Business Summit. And we would really connect with them after the Home Business Summit, to increase the probability of them buying a master class. So it helps to have somebody there, that it's not just a system. It's not just a bunch of like robots running the system, but there's human help when they need help.
Okay, now this is about opting in when you are doing your Facebook ad. So when you're sending someone to your landing page, do you ask them to opt in first, or do you just send them directly to an IMF registration?
Do you ask them to opt in first? Okay, so there's many ways of creating your landing page, right? We find that it's very important to capture the email first so that we continue communicating with them. So if we do use the MOBE landing page, we have a squeeze page in between and we capture their page and then we send them to either the MOBE page or to the MOBE IMF form. So the MOBE IMF form is a form that you can insert into your landing page to capture all the information, but you don't have to use the MOBE landing page, because if you notice along the MOBE landing page, it has a lot of claims which is non-compliant to the Facebook ad policy. So your ad, Facebook might shut down your ad. So we don't use the MOBE landing page, but we do use the MOBE IMF form, or we just capture the leads separately into our system, and then we plug them into MOBE separately.
Did you utilize a mentor? Isabella would like to know.
Okay, so when we signed up for, like, after the Home Business Summit, the teachers were great and the MOBE trainings were great, and I was learning things on my own, and I was committed to only studying 2 hours a day because I had to run my son's home play therapy, right? And I realized that there was so much to learn and it was so overwhelming. In the next opportunity that we went to a mastermind, I already knew from the people who were on stage, I already knew that we needed help, and I wanted to pay for the hours that I would be spending learning things on my own. True enough, I could learn on my own, but it would take me weeks and months to figure things out. And we used money to save us the time. So we did find somebody who was willing to coach us. Yes.
Okay, and it looks like we are nearing the end of our questions. Does anyone else have anything you'd like to ask that hasn't been answered yet? If so, take a couple minutes and type it in, and if not, then we'll just wrap up.
Yep.
We'll give them one more minute to finish typing up. Okay, can you show us your funnel for the IMF? Top secret information. No.
Well, actually, not really. Actually, here's the trick. So if you, we live in Singapore and we get a lot of IMFs here, okay? And what you can do is you can show your Facebook ad, if you can show your Facebook. So when events come to your place, click on them and check what people are doing. Because what we've actually done is we have been clicking on ads, we check ads which we like, and then and then from there we decide, oh, I like this, I want to try something like this. And that's how we eventually developed our ads and our funnels. So here's one, for example. So you can click, why is he ad? Why don't you click? So in this ad, why am I seeing this? If you click that, you will see that he is targeting Hill because Hill is interested in business, right? So you can tell by that. So you might want to say, oh, I want to try to use business next time I place an ad, right? And then he's got other parameters over there. Close. And then, oops. Okay, and then can you see the ad? This isn't a MOBE. No, it's an online, right? And then you can check, do I like the way he's advertising? And once you click on these ads, Facebook will send you more similar ads. So it's a matter of like studying all these ads that come to you. Then why don't you click onto his landing page and let's see how it looks like. Wealth Dragons. Wow, what a name. See, so you can see if you like. So he starts with a video with a big title. Click to join. Some meet the experts.
Some testimonials.
Some testimonies. And basically, we've taken all elements just like this. We've taken some of the text from the MOBE landing page. We've taken away the claim so that it's Facebook compliant. And yeah, then keep going. And many times he says, click here. So there's lots of opportunities for you to leave your email and all of his different products. So we would advise you to, I know a lot of you spend time on Facebook, spend time like reverse engineering the ads that you get in Facebook and start getting, clicking the business ads so that Facebook will send you more business ads so that you can reverse engineer. And that's what has really helped us with coming up with the final look of our ads and our landing page.
Another tip also is to use what's called Ad Espresso. Ad Espresso, kind of like the coffee. It's expensive, but it's the same kind of thing. If you're dealing with Facebook, you can actually go in and look at other people's ads. So that's also an option if you want to go that route. What is the time frame to evaluate split ads?
Oh, okay. So split ads. You would, let's see. Okay, first of all, I wanted to know what the average consultant was getting for every lead that they're getting. And of course, this number is different and there isn't really a study. So I could be wrong as far as what I'm telling you. Okay. But as I attend webinars, some people get an IMF lead, and it's very different in Asia and in the US, for example, or in UK or in Sydney. So let's say, for example, the US market. I've heard people getting leads for as much as $60, which is, I think, is too expensive. $40, which might still be expensive. I would say $20 is a good price. And if you're really good, you can get $10 or less than $10 per lead. So if you're running ads and you're getting a conversion at $20 per lead, then that's a good sign. If you double that to say $40 and you still don't have a lead, I would still keep it running a little bit more, say up to $50, because you might get a conversion on your 40th dollar and your 45th dollar. So that will come down to about $25 per lead. So I would turn ads off after, if they're not converting at $50, right? So you can decide $20 or $50. So keep them running until that point. And again, just start advertising with a budget that's comfortable to you. But as soon as you're starting to figure out which images work, which ad copies work, then you can start increasing your budget.
Okay, the next question is, did you use follow-up series campaigns from MOBE or did you use your own?
Oh, my husband's a great copywriter, so he uses his own.
So we use a lot of personal branding. You will hear this as well from a lot of top earners, especially when you attend the masterminds, right? So there needs to be a congruence. So meaning consistency in your message, starting from your Facebook copy to your landing page up to your email series. So if, for example, we talk about a testimonial from Steven Bransfield, who is one of our favorite MOBE affiliates, right? So we would have a testimonial on our landing page. And then on our email follow-up series, we're going to share more about Steven and why he is such a great business partner and the success story that you know uh, our target leads can learn from. So that's the congruence that we would ensure there is present in all touch points which our lead would be reading and be exposed to.
And I think that's one big advantage about going to live events. That was a question posted earlier, is that we met these people and we heard their success stories, amazing stories. And it's fantastic to be able to hear those stories. And we met them long before we were making money and long before they were like, booming up into the list. And we've captured great photos and images and reshare their story. And so now we've got a lot of personal branding stories to share with our audience. And it makes the business feel more real, right? Or easy to grasp for people. So we like that we've met all these people at the events. So go to the events, yes.
Let's see, there's a whole bunch of questions here. How much time goes by before you decide to cut an ad? So what is your time frame on splitting on your split ads?
What do you
How
mean?
much time?
Before?
I think Chris touched upon it. It's not really the time, but it's the cost, right? The cost per lead.
When do you decide? Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of other parameters that you should check. For example, so say for example, it's $10, $20 has passed, but you're only getting a few clicks, and so each click is costing you like $5. That's like a sign. That's like a sign that you should turn off that ad because Facebook is not pushing that ad enough for people to see it. That's my son.
And then when is the best time to scale the budget in Facebook?
That's really gonna be up to you. So we started scaling when we saw more conversions and when we saw that, because even if they leave a conversion, then will they actually show up at the event and will they actually go to the event? So when we started, when our money was actually making money, then we decided this is really worth putting more money into it. So it did take a while and it did take a lot of practices before we did.
And when you promote Facebook ads for IMF event, how many days prior to the event date do you start promoting?
Oh, that's a good question. So again, that is something that you should split test. So there are pros and cons for promoting shortly before the event and promoting a good distance before the event. Like, for example, if you're promoting a month ahead, the cost per lead will be a lot cheaper, but the likelihood of them attending a free event if they signed up a month before might be lower, right? But if you're going to go with volume, then that might work. The likelihood of them attending if they signed up 1 or 2 weeks early is higher, but since a lot of affiliates are advertising at that time, so that your cost per lead might be higher. So again, that's a matter of split testing. And we like both. We test both. We try either super early or just right a week or two before the event.
What would you say to your leads to convince them to join, especially if you call them for a follow-up, if you don't have results or have not made a sale yet?
Okay. From the very beginning, I have to say that we were convinced that this business will work already. So that wasn't much of an issue for us. But we also leveraged on the people who we met. So when we met people at live events, we talked about, and there's a lot of, if you haven't gone to live events, there's a lot of testimonies that you'll see at the MOBE webpage. So we leveraged on other people's success first.
Right.
And it looks like that might be the end of our questions. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. Thank you so much for coming and being a part of our Elite Earners webinar. All of you, including Chris and Gil, you guys did a wonderful job. It's always great to learn more about Facebook. I think that's probably everyone's #1 question and concern. I see it all over the Facebook community as well. So very good. Thank you so much for doing that. Thank you all for attending, and we hope you have a wonderful night. Be sure to tune in next week, Tuesday, 9 o'clock Eastern. We will have another awesome Elite Earners webinar, so make sure you're looking at your consultant email that you get every week to get the link to sign up, and we will be talking to you soon. Thanks so much, Chris and Gil.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Karen. Thanks, everyone, for joining.
Have a wonderful night.
Bye.
Bye.
It's okay.